as a health professional stroke a financial advisor, what are some of the, health concerns or health issues that can change someone's life?
And because I'm an African, prostate is a big one. Prostate cancer is a big one. Diabetes is a big one. A lot of us get diagnosed with diabetes, and before you know it, your policy just explodes and is more expensive because you've been diagnosed. High blood pressure is another one that we struggle with a lot. So within our communities, I would say those three definitely.
The question is always, is your financial house in order? So that is where we start from, putting our financial house in order. And the foundation is our protection policies. I mean, no matter how much we save, one illness, one thing, one event can come and then sweeps all of our savings away.
Like, I always thought like maybe having a will and a life insurance is enough. But from this video, I know that having a trust in place is even more important. And that's what, right after this video, I'll be discussing with my husband. Stop that. Hi guys, so today I have here two financial gurus, guys. So ever since I did a video about wills, insurances and all of that, people have been DMing me and sending me messages that they would like it if I could invite a financial advisor or somebody who is more, experienced in this whole sector, because with everything that I said, just said that as a nurse, I don't have in-depth knowledge about all of that. But today I have brought you experts in this, okay? I brought you a financial coach or a financial advisor, okay? So I'm going to bring them here on board and I'm going to ask them a few questions that, guys, I'm sure that is going to benefit every one of you. So I'm going to invite Uwana and Mr. Samuel Lee on here. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Hi, Nanya.
Hello, good to see
you. Thank you guys so much for your time. Uwana and Mr. Samuel, I just want you to introduce yourself. Maybe Uwana, you go first. Introduce yourself, and then Mr. Samuel Lee will also introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Uwana Okupa, also known as Wani. I'm a registered nurse and with over 3 years experience in the UK, currently working in a nursing home. And in search for additional income, I joined a financial company where I have been trained. I've gotten the necessary coaching and I've now a financial representative. So I'm able to provide financial education. Our goal is to educate people as much as possible to gain financial education. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. So how long have you been doing this financial advising thing? How long?
My journey started last year, November, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess Mr. Samuel is your boss.
Yeah. He is my coach. He is my boss. He is my mentor. He is everything for me in the financial world. Yeah.
Wow. You're like, because I remember you said he has 16 years plus experience in financial advice.
Yeah, definitely.
So Samuel Lee, I'll let you introduce yourself and then.
Thank you. So my name is Samuel Lee. I've been working within the financial industry since 2010. I actually used to have a full-time job in the civil service within the Department of Health. And a bit like Wani, I wanted more out of life. I wanted to be debt-free. I came to the UK in 1993 from Nigeria. I didn't understand anything about money and I took everything going. I had lots of credit cards, lots of loans. I had a store card that was the bane of my life for many, many years. And I needed to be debt-free. I wanted to do more. And so being able to earn an income part-time while I was working was really good. And so I started doing this in 2010. And I'm thankful to God I was able to actually sack my boss in 2016. So I handed in my notice in April of 2016, and I've been going full-time now as my own company since 2016. So just over 9 years, nearly 10 years.
Wow, that's a wealth of experience, I would say. By the way, Mr. Samuel, the year that you came to the UK, that was when I was born. So that's
really
long time ago. Wow. Guys, just like I promised, these are people with a lot of experience. Mr. Samuel, so with your experience, and what would you say are the biggest mistakes that migrants make when we move from Africa and then we come here? What are the common major financial mistakes that we make? What would you say?
One of the most common ones will be having the financial knowledge about the UK. The financial system in the UK is completely different from any other country. And I think a lot of us come here, we just jump in. We take services that we don't know anything about, but because somebody said take this, we take it. And so over this last 15 years, what I've seen a lot of immigrants do is take these things and then a couple of years later, it's a big problem. So I would say understanding the financial principles in the UK is a really big one.
In my last video, I spoke about wills, I spoke about life insurances, I spoke about burial insurance and all of that. And you know, in our community, these topics are really difficult to talk about. What is your opinion on all of that, especially for migrants?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues is there's two main things I'm going to talk about. I think there's a cultural attitude that we have when it comes to taking protection. I call it protection. Financial protection, you know, there's a cultural attitude towards it. A lot of us feel like if something happens to us, other people will deal with it. But there's also fear and a lack of knowledge. Fear, we're afraid, you know. I say to people, take protection, life insurance. And part of the things I hear the most is, do you want to kill me? Who wants to kill you? I don't want to kill you. But if anything were to happen to you, your family will be left in a mess. Everybody's got their own challenges. I have my own challenges. My sister, you have your own challenges. Do you now want me to look after your family? So nobody's going to kill you. But I always call the life insurance a love letter. It's a love letter that you leave for your loved ones if anything was to happen to you. So yes, I would say there's a fear that we have, and there's a lack of knowledge as well.
So as a financial advisor, do Black people come to you? Do we even seek financial advice professionally like that?
Oh, so the way I work through education. I teach people, I educate people around money, how money works and how to get their money working for them. So it's all about financial education from where I come from. And then we're able to guide people along. Yeah, so not a lot of, I have clients across the board. I've got Caribbean, I've got Africans, I've got Europeans. But yeah, you're right. As Africans, generally, I'm a Nigerian, we don't go and seek it out. We generally have, which is why my business is a referral-based business. People refer me to other people because we don't go and look for it. Unless somebody tells you, go and check this out, most of us don't go and check it out. We're working too hard. We're doing 3-4 different jobs. So it's, you know, thinking about the finances sometimes is out there. So it's the guidance that people need. So yeah, no, people don't come looking for me. I get referred to people and then that's how I grow my business. Yeah.
I think another thing is that people think that it's only like very rich people that have financial advisors and maybe, you know, so I'm just thinking like right now, let's say if somebody has come into money, let's say they've been able to save, let's say £50,000, right, over the years in the UK, they're watching right now, but they are contemplating, they don't know what to do, right, and they want to come and see you, Mr. Samuel Lee. How much are you going to charge them for just that consultation to guide them on how they should, you know, make the best use of this 50,000? How much is it supposed to be a one-time meeting, and then, or is this supposed to be like, how does it work, like, and then how much is the person likely to pay, like when they come to you? Okay,
so you'll be glad to know, you know, somebody said cheap is good, but free is better, right? So generally for us, my services, when I sit down with a client, I do not charge for my services. So while I sit down with a client, I educate them, I teach them some of the financial principles in the UK so they understand how money works. And then from there, I'm able to guide them to professionals, experts in those areas that I work with. So what we do not charge for it. We basically refer them to other people, but we educate them and we give them a plan that shows them this is where you are right now. If you keep doing what you're doing right now, it's not going to be great. If you make 1 or 2 changes, life will be a lot better going forward. And so that's generally what we do.
So how do you feed your family then if it's all free?
Fantastic. So, you know, I said I work with some experts. So if I was to sit down with you and I'm able to go through some information with you, so I educate you and I show you the different services that you need, then I refer you to experts that I work with. So for example, if you needed a will, I've got a will company that I can refer you to, and when you get our will, they pay me a finder's fee. But remember, I've been doing this now for just nearly 16 years, and I've been full-time now for just nearly 10 years. So it's what I'm able to, you know, it works. It works for me, it works for my family.
Yeah, I can see that.
Someone like Wani who wanted to earn some extra income, what I do is I actually coach her, I hold her hand and I show her, I teach her how to be able to educate people, because financial principles are the same across the board. And it's just understanding those simple financial principles that makes a difference.
So, Uwana, as a health professional, because you're a nurse like myself, as a health professional stroke a financial advisor, what are some of the, health concerns or health issues that can change someone's life?
If you want me to answer that, you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, in my experience, I had a client a couple of years ago where he went for his over 40s check. And between him doing his over 40s check and getting his results, he came to see me. I sat down with him and I completed the medical questionnaire, okay, for him to get the life insurance policy. Now, then the results came out and his prostate was a bit larger than it normally should have been. So he got diagnosed with prostate cancer. And because I'm an African, prostate is a big one. Prostate cancer is a big one. Diabetes is a big one. A lot of us get diagnosed with diabetes. And before you know it, your policy just explodes and is more expensive because you've been diagnosed. High blood pressure is another one that we struggle with a lot. So within our communities, I would say those three definitely: high blood pressure, diabetes, prostate for the men, and yeah, those are the main things really when it comes to our communities.
Yeah, for the women as well, say cervical cancer and breast cancer as well. These days, they're also on the rise.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. But again, what I say to people is like my children, I've got an 18-year-old, I've got a 20-year-old, and my daughter, she turned 33 a couple of days ago. And what I say to people is, as soon as my son turned 18, we got a life insurance policy straight away.
Wow.
Because the younger you are when you get it, the cheaper it is in the long run. If you wait until you're 25 or you're 30, you get a small diagnosis, even a bad back. All of a sudden, instead of you paying £10 a month, you're now paying £15 a month. So sometimes the earlier you are when you get it, the better. Before you get, even my classic example, I got diagnosed with pre-diabetes. If I want to do a regular check, but fortunately, I had a policy already. So that did not increase the amount of policy I was going to have. But I did not know I was pre-diabetic until I went to do the health check. You get me? And that's the challenge with a lot of our people. We don't do these health checks regularly. I get a health check done every single year.
Wow.
Just so that I can be ahead of it if anything comes up.
Wani, what are some of the health checks that you think we should be doing? Like maybe yearly or whatever, as a health professional stroke financial advisor?
Oh yeah. So let's start with the ladies. One is the BRCA gene mutation. It's very important. That's for breast cancer screening, ovarian cancer, and the likes. Also, cervical cancer screening is very necessary. Then the blood works, like routine blood tests. We should at least have it annually. That's both male and female. The men should also be able to have their prostates changed. I think the BRCA also covers that for prostates for men. Then routinely, monthly, weekly, periodically, we can always have our blood sugars and blood pressure checked. Sometimes we can never tell how much stress has affected us, especially some people with family history, because those ones also make it worse for people who are even younger. So it's necessary to have those things checked routinely.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel Lee. So for instance, if I decide to do a life insurance right now, averagely, how much am I supposed to pay monthly? Like in your, experience, what do you think it is, like monthly payments, and what are some of the payouts like if you do that?
Okay, so so let's say somebody who's a 30-year-old and we do like a £300,000 life cover over the next, let's say, 25 years. The average amount on that will again, remember, with your life insurance, it depends on your age. It depends on whether you have some health issues, some health challenges. Depends on your BMI. So if you're small and thick, then it's a bit, you understand BMI. So all those things. So I'd say for a regular 30-year-old, £300,000, 25 years, we're probably looking at about £10 to £15 a month.
So that's just about like maybe a cup of, Starbucks or something.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not
a
cheap.
month. So I think for people, it's understanding that it's not as expensive as you think, because if you think you're paying £15 a month, multiply that by 12, then multiply that by 25. So even if you pay it for the old term, you're probably paying altogether maybe about £7,000 over those 25 years. But if anything happened to you from day one, let's say, God forbid, you passed away on day one, your family would receive £300,000. So basically, you're using £7,000 to buy £300,000. There's no investments that will get you that ever.
Exactly. That's
And
true.
that's what people don't think about.
And I know there are different types. What types would you
Yes.
recommend for people like us? Is it the term life or is it the whole life? And then is it the monthly payout or the lump sum? Like, which ones would you recommend for us?
In my opinion, term is great. So the way I look at term is when you're young, on the left-hand side right now, you're young, you've got responsibilities, you've got young children, you may have a mortgage, you've got bills to pay, you've got a lot of responsibility. You need protection at that point. All right? But as you get older, your need for protection reduces. So by the time you're 65, by the time you're 70, your children are grown, your mortgage is paid off, your debt is paid off, you've got money in the bank saved. Do you still need protection like that? No, you don't. So really, for me, I've got mine till I'm 70. 70, I know I'll have it. So you know that for 25 years, 30 years, you're protected. So term is definitely important. What some people also add to that would be whole of life. But instead of you doing a whole of life of a large amount, a lot of people will do whole of life of maybe 30,000, 40,000, a small amount, because if you live up to the age of 200, your family will still get, okay, let's say 120. Your family will still get that 30K because it's whole of life. Take term, that term will cover your mortgage, and it'll cover if anything were to happen to you. And it's an instant inheritance for your family as well.
Okay.
So there's the term and there's the whole of life when it comes to life cover.
And do you prefer the lump sum where they'll give my family that whole 300,000 that we use as an example? Or do you think that them giving my family a monthly sum of, let's say, 3,000 is better?
So the full amount is the best thing. The reason is if you had a mortgage, you just clear your mortgage. So let's say you've got a mortgage of £250,000, and God forbid you passed away. They pay them 300,000. You pay your mortgage of they've got 50,000 to do something with. Yeah. So for me, the lump sum is the best way. That's what I recommend for a lot of people.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know that I don't know if Wani can answer this. I know that lots of migrants have parents back home, and we're looking for, and I don't know about Nigeria because you both are Nigerians, but in Ghana, funeral is extremely expensive. Very, very expensive. And you want to give your parents, let's say, a befitting burial, and you need money to do that. Meanwhile, you are broke like myself and you work for the NHS. And then you don't have enough money to do that, and you don't want the time to come for you to go and do GoFundMe for people to support you with your mommy's funeral or your daddy's funeral. Do we have such burial life covers for parents when my parents are, let's say, not living in the UK? Is it possible to get burial insurance for them?
No. So it's not really done like that.
Okay.
You have to be here. You can't do it on behalf of somebody. You take out a policy, like if I'm taking out for myself, it's for me. If my mom was in the UK and she's taking out a policy, she's taking out for herself. So you can't take it for people in absentia.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers the question.
But if they were here with permission, I could do that for them.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. So you don't do it for somebody abroad who is not living in the UK.
Okay, I get you. And then would you say that getting illness cover is also important? Should we do it, or just the life insurance is fine, or critical illness cover is also important? What's your opinion on that?
Okay, so one of the expression we get when we talk to people about life insurance is, oh, so they get to enjoy the money when I'm gone. So, and I'll always say to my clients, then you give yourself a treat. Take out a sickness cover, take out an income protection. These are the ones that you can utilize while you are still alive. So what the sickness cover does is, in case of any medical emergency illness covered under the insurance policy, you are able to be paid a lump sum. So it could be 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 pounds, depending on how much monthly disposable income you're ready to part with. So this is now for you, not for your family. Although you can also add your kids. So you can add kids from age 0 till they're 18, and children in education up till the age of 24. So you can add kids under it. And then for yourself also, you can do the income protection, which is just if you're unable to work based on illness. So let's say you've already claimed a lump sum from this same illness. you started treatment for it, and you're still unable to go to work, the insurance company would check out your GP report and see that your GP has said, okay, this person can't go to work because of these symptoms. So you have gotten your lump sum on the illness cover, and now you have a monthly income protection that pays you, just trying to mimic your salary, So it doesn't have to be 100% of your salary, just about 60%. So it keeps you going while you're undergoing treatment.
Oh, I see. It makes a lot of sense for us to do that as well. Can I take more than one life insurance? Let's say I'll do this with one company, I'll do another one with this company, I'll do this. Is it possible? Is it allowed?
Yes, you can. I mean, because you're paying the premiums. So as long as you keep paying the premiums, yes, you can take 3, 4, 5. It's your choice, really. I always say to people is, what's the reason? So I see people all the time, they say, I've got £100,000 life cover. And I say, okay, why have you got 100,000? Why not 50? Why not 200? So it depends on why you've got it. And, we teach people different techniques, how to calculate how much life insurance they need. So they actually put the figures together themselves. So that when they're paying it, they know why they're laying out this money. It's not somebody telling you need 100K, you need 500K. You are deciding that yourself.
Okay. And would you say making a will is important for migrants living abroad? And what happens if we do not make a will and God forbid we die in the UK? What happens to, let's say, the house that we're living in? If we have a mortgage, what happens to the little money that we have in our account? Like, what happens?
So for me, that a will is a standard, is a must. What a lot of people don't understand is your children in the UK don't belong to you. They actually belong to the state. So if God forbid you were to pass away, the government will take your children, if you have children, that is. And part of the reason you have a will is you can state in your will, this is the person I want to look after my children if anything happens to me. But also I've seen cases where people do not have a will. What happens to your estate? It goes to the crown. Nobody can touch it.
That's the worst part. All the taxes
done. All
will after this video. That's a no.
You wake up at 4 o'clock. You don't ever come till 2 o'clock in the morning. You work hard, and then something happens, and then I've also seen one where family fights. And I speak to people all the time. They say, "Oh, my children love each other. My children, they love each other. They're not going to fight." Which is great, but my experience tells me sometimes it's not even about the children. It could be their partners. This one partner will say, you looked after mom more than she did. Why are you getting the same amount? Before you know it, the partner turns the, I've seen it. I'm speaking from experience. So sometimes people say, my children love each other, they're not going to fight. I'm sorry, I've seen it go the other way. And then family comes involved, cousins, aunties, uncles. And you know what we're like in Africa? They start sending people from back home, especially if you have a big amount of money. So it's really, really, really important to make a will and let people know where it is. Let people know who's in charge. Let people know that if anything happens to me, this is where my will is. And this is the person who's going to make sure everything goes out right.
Yeah. Another thing to add.
Go on.
No, just to add to the will, it's also very important to have a trust. So most insurance company would offer you a trust for your life insurance, but you have a property, you need a trust. A trust is just like a third party who makes sure that if in case of anything, your family gets to inherit from you directly. It doesn't have to go through the government probate. So if somebody has a life insurance and is not in a trust, when it's time to make claims, it's going to take maybe 9 months upward, 9 to 18 months before that money is released. It's not just going to be released, it's going to be taxed, So with a trust, you can get to choose how this money is passed on to your beneficiaries through your trustee.
The way I say about trust is that the trust keep your estate in your bloodline. If you look at all these King Charles and all those guys, they keep their money in their bloodline because they've got trust in place. And the trust is there for 125 years. So everything you've worked hard for, it stays in your bloodline. If anything were to happen to, say your children, they get married, them and their partner fall out, and the partner leaves, they can't get half of the house because the house actually belongs to you. It's in a trust. So you lock it down. You know, in this country, we pay 40% inheritance tax. I don't know if you knew that already.
I know. I didn't know what.
40%.
I know it's huge.
Yeah, 40%. Now, if you had a trust, guess what? You avoid that. And a lot of these people that we see, this, you know, the people that sit in the high places, a lot of them have a trust.
Is it expensive to get a trust? Is it easy?
It is straightforward. It really is pretty straightforward. We have an organization that we work with that we can refer you to, and they will help you get a trust. It depends on what you're putting into it. For some people, it's just their life insurance they put into the trust. Okay? For some people, they want to put their house. They might have some jewelry. They might have some painting. Yeah. So it depends on what you want to put into it that might increase the amount or reduce the amount.
Am I going to pay monthly for the trust, for having the trust? Or
no, you can pay it one-off. You can pay one-off. The organization we work with, you can do it one-off. You can do it in installments, but it's one amount that you pay. It's amazing how that will save you so much in the future that will not affect your family. Because sometimes our families... Sorry?
Is it expensive? Can you give us like an approximate?
It's not that expensive. The reason I won't give an amount is because it depends on what you're putting into it.
Yeah.
It could be up to, you know, I'm not going to put an amount.
Let's say it's one house, maybe just one house, and maybe a life insurance.
All of that depends on the value of the property.
Okay.
What is the value of that property? All of those things come into account because remember, for the inheritance tax, you will pay 40% on anything over 325,000. So if your whole estate is more than 325,000, you pay 40% on top of that. So you pay 40% of anything over 325. So depending on whether your property is what it's worth, or you're looking at, I won't give an amount. If you want to find out, I'm happy to sit down with you and show you how. But it's not as bad. But what people don't think about is this. I know somebody who passed away a few years ago. Okay, they had to go through probate. They had to pay inheritance tax. They had to pay all those things. I know for a fact they had to go and borrow about £15,000. The father had several houses. Okay, more than 10. All right. Had a few houses, estate owner. He had more than 10 houses, but he didn't have a will. He didn't have a trust. They had to go through probate. They had to pay over £15,000 just to be able to get the process going. So how much is your peace of mind worth for your family? And having to put them through that. And years, things are still not sorted. Years later, things are still not sorted because there's fighting going on between the families because those things were not put in place. So what you need to think, and I said earlier, is about how much love do you have. For me, I've got 3 children, I've got a wife. God forbid I'm going to live many, many years and carry many more grandchildren. But if the Lord were to say, Sam, tomorrow is the time to come home, I don't want my family to have to suffer. I don't want them to have to go and chase and run around and just the headache. I've seen it happen so many times, my sister, so many times. And we don't need it. And for me, a lot of the time within our culture, we don't keep money in our families. All the work you're doing now, within 1 generation or 2 generations is done. We don't keep it. Our great grandchildren, they're not living off the wealth that you've left them. In the law of our groups, our communities, why don't put things like a trust in place? So that 5 generations from now, when they send them to school and they say, draw your family plan, they can trace you and know that when you passed away, you left them £1 million. And they're able to enjoy life now because great grandma Nanelle left them this amount. And I think that's what more of us need to be aware of.
True.
Not just living for the now. I don't know if I make that's clear enough.
A lot of sense, Mr. Samuel. So right now, if I need to make a will, if I need to put a trust in place and I want to reach out to you, how do I reach out to you, or how do I reach out to Wani for this advice? Do you have a website or something?
Yes, so my name.
By the way, guys, I haven't taken any money from Mr. Samuel Lee. Because sometimes you need people that understand our background, where we are coming from, our situation. So he being a Black person, like most of you watching me, and then he being a migrant, like most of you watching me, and then he having this over 16 years of experience, and Wani also being a nurse, like most of you watching me, it makes it easier for them to understand our situation and all of that. So if you do want to speak to Mr. Samuel Lee, I'll leave the details on the screen as well, and in the description you can reach out to them. Before I make a will, what are some of the things that I need to be very aware of? Any of you can answer that. Before I choose an executor, what are some of the things that are very critical that I need to be aware of?
So So first of all, you have to be in the right frame of mind.
Okay.
Making a will, you have to make it when you're healthy and sound, not under duress, not under the influence of any medication or illness. Secondly, choosing a trustee, just as the name implies, or an executor, a trustee is somebody you trust. This changes over time. So it's one of these mistakes that we make as well. We don't review our policies. So making a will today, it has to be reviewable, so that if probably the relationship with this person has gone south, it doesn't, you can always update it and put someone else that you can trust. Of course, it's life. People betray people over time, or relationship changes. So these are two most important things you need to consider. And then it's easy to just write a will and leave it where you are. Like they say, write it and put it under your pillow. But you have to consider. But you have to make it legally binding. So that's where you get to involve a solicitor and make it very legal.
Is that expensive to do? Like, if I need to make a will, like legally binding, how much do I have to pay? How much are we talking about?
Over to Mrs. Sam.
So the best thing to get would be what we call, if you're married, a mirror will.
A what?
A mirror will. MIRROR will. It's a will that matches each other. So there's two of you, and it's the same. That's why I have with me and my wife. If anything happens to me, if anything happens to her, and it goes the other way. So it's exactly the same. That roughly would be about £99-ish. Yeah? So that would be what a mirror will is. All you need really is to know what you want to put in it. You need to know who your executor is going to be. You need to know what you want. You've got 2 children, it's going to be 50-50. You want 3 children, is 33 and a half each. So you've got to be able to decide that if anything happens to you, who do you want to look after your children? If you've got a charity that you support, what percentage of your estate do you want to go to them? And so those are the kind of things that you need to be aware of. But the organization we refer you to, they will ask you all these things. They will send you information upfront that you should have, and then you get to sign it, and the stories for you. That way, it doesn't get eaten by moths in your house and rats, and you don't lose it. So they can save it for you, they can keep it for you, so that whenever you need it, it's there, and they're able to execute it and help you with the legal part of things as well.
Wow. What if I don't trust my partner and I don't want him to see my will, so I don't want to have a mirror will?
Yeah, then you can do yours. Definitely, you can do your will. It's slightly cheaper, but you can do your own will, and then make sure that they'll save it for you. But you've got to have somebody that you trust, who knows that you have one, so that if God forbid anything does happen, they're able to be in charge of that. So you can do it by yourself, definitely. You're not tied to that.
Wow, then it's not too expensive like I thought then. Yeah.
No, it's less than £100. It's less than £100.
Wow.
But if you think about the peace of mind that if anything were to happen, like I was saying to somebody yesterday, I know a family, 14 years, they've been fighting for their family house in the Lake District. Yeah. And 4 children, the brother lives in the house and he refuses to move out. And the others are struggling, but he's okay. And they're still fighting it, but they can't do anything. So just think about the 14 years, 4 years, it's not sorted yet. Just because the parents didn't put a will together. For what? £100. So sometimes, like I said, I think part of the issue we have is we look at the small, we don't think about the big picture. And for me, it's as a person, you love your family, you want to leave them in a good place. So it's very important that we put those things in place.
When I did the video about the life insurance, somebody sent me this message. I want to read it to you. It's a question, but obviously, so that you can answer this person. It says, Nanelle, your video made me question myself about the issue because that was the first thing I did when I got here 3 years back. The person is talking about life insurance. In this country, you never know tomorrow. It's better you prepare ahead. I have a life insurance policy in place, but I have never asked if my children will be able to get a payout in case of my death while in Africa. I know you're not an insurance advisor, but I would appreciate if you have any idea. So this person has a policy in place. They did it immediately they came to the UK. She hasn't brought her children to the UK yet. They're still back in Ghana. She doesn't know if they will give them payouts to their children in Africa if she should die. I told her that it should be in the details of the policy, isn't it?
So they live here, but their children are in Africa.
Yes, and they have a life insurance policy in place here.
Okay, so the best way to deal with that is to put that policy in a trust. If it's not in a trust, then the payouts will go to who's their next of kin. Do they have a next of kin? So when they have a trust, they say, this is the person who will get that money paid to them, and then they will look after the family. You get me? So that life insurance is good that they've got something in place, but they need to put it into a trust. Just having the life insurance is not enough. Because if God forbid they were to pass away, who does that money get paid to? We don't know. And so again, that will just kind of disappear. You know, we know stories of people who've passed away, and I'm very active in my community where I live. And we've had to bury people as a community because we just don't know anything about where they are and what's going on. And they just died in the house by themselves. You know, so for me, it's about, I've been in that community now for 30 years, just being able to give. We don't want that. So you should have it, but then make sure you have plans going forward. What happens if the worst were to happen? So yeah, they need to put it into a trust. Some insurance companies will offer the trust for free, like the company I use. So the company I use, they would offer you a trust for free. So it's part of the package. So you get the life insurance, you can put it into a trust.
Okay. And can I trust? You see, back in Ghana, the reason why lots of people avoid insurance is because they say some of the insurance companies are not honest. Once something happens, they'll say that, oh, you forgot to read this little detail. Like they're very rich, but then they insured their house and then there was a fire outbreak. They said that instead of the insurance company to pay out, they said, but you guys never had a fire extinguisher, so now everything you were supposed to read the they're supposed to have, so they didn't get anything from the insurance company. And because of all of these issues, people think insurance companies are not, honest enough to give money to them. By the time you need them, they'll fail you. Before I choose an insurance company in the UK, do I have to do a research to see if this one is genuine, or because they are all regulated by the UK Financial Conduct Authority, safe? Or do I really need to check all of that first?
Yes, it's a really good comment, and I get that all the time as well. You can't trust them, they don't pay out. And in my experience, the only reason they don't pay out is because people are not honest when they take the policy out. I've seen people, I've done a quote for people, and they've said, oh, I smoke. And when I do the policy, it comes up as, I don't know, £40. And they say, that's too much. I don't smoke anymore.
From that time, they stopped smoking.
Exactly. So the policy now goes down to, I don't know, £15, £20. But then 2 years, something happens, they try to make a claim. Actually, it says on your medical records you're a smoker. This is the only reason, in my experience, that people don't get paid out, because they've lied on their medical questionnaire. They've been diagnosed as having diabetes. They don't declare it when we ask them the medical question. You get what I'm trying to say? So a lot of the insurance companies, all of them will ask you, is the same medical questions that you complete. And it's just making sure that you read the information properly, but also talk to the right people. I think a lot of us, we go online and we go on and we type and we find something and we go with those people. You don't know them. You don't understand your story. You don't understand. You're just on the phone. You get a policy. It's only £5 a month, but you don't know that's only accidental death. And again, I know people who've done this. How much is life insurance? It's only £5 a month, but it's accidental death. And accidental death basically means you only get paid out if you die by accident. If you have a car accident or you fall down the stairs or something, that's the only time you get a payout. If you died from COVID or a brain hemorrhage or aneurysm or cancer or something, you don't get a payout. People say, oh yeah, it's only £5, but why is it just £5? We think about the money that we're paying right now, but we're not looking at. So for me, again, it's a lack of knowledge. Don't just go online and Google and search for something and think that's the way. So again, for me, it's a lack of knowledge. Talk to somebody that understands where you're coming from, get the right information, and then put something in place.
I really learned a lot, and I'm very sure that my viewers have learned a lot as well. This is very, very important. Wani, what are your final words for every migrant watching this video?
So the question is always, is your financial house in order? So that is where we start from, putting our financial house in order. And the foundation is our protection policies. I mean, no matter how much we save, one illness, one thing, one event can come and then sweeps all of our savings away. So having a protection is a money smart movement. It's a really smart decision because it doesn't let you pay out of pocket. Then another thing I would encourage us to do is to find out more about how money works for us, what can land us in debt. I really never knew that counseling, just waking up and counseling a phone policy, a Wi-Fi policy, a car insurance can land you in debt. I mean, you can just get in debt and without knowing. So you really need to know and take the appropriate steps to cancel these things so as not to land in debt, because that's one of the things that we face as migrants, being in debt. So overall, it's just good for us to review ourselves, our families, and then leave this legacy of love for them, and always speak to experts and prioritize our health. Yeah, so those are my final words.
Very important. Thank you so much. For me, what I have learned, I always thought maybe having a will and life insurance is enough. But from this video, I know that having a trust in place is even more important. And that's what, right after this video, I'll be discussing with my husband. So, Mr. your final words, and then, yeah.
Yeah, for lack of knowledge, my people perish. And I think getting that knowledge is very important. Getting the information from the right source is very important. And so, understand the financial concepts that run in the UK. I think is very important. But protect your family. When you talked about your financial house, the foundation of any financial house is your protection. If anything were to happen to you tomorrow, the Lord called you home tomorrow, what would happen to the people you're leaving behind? That's a deep question. And I know we don't like to answer it. I've had doctors tell me, Jesus will look after me. I'm sorry, I've seen it. And it's a case of you're a doctor. You see people coming every day, every single day. They didn't expect what happened to them when they left home that morning. And so for us, it's just a mindset shift. It's shifting our mindset to, if anything happened to me, the angel came to pick me up today, what would happen to the people I'm leaving behind? And I think that's a question to ask yourself deeply. We're here to contact us. Wani, I'm sure Wani will give please add Wani's details to the system because she'll be able to respond and help as many people as possible.
Okay, Wani, you can send me that so that I can leave it on the screen when I'm editing.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, thank you so much, Mr. Samueli. You definitely hear from me again. Now that I want to, I'll reach out to you as well. And Wana, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Danielle. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy your retreat, Mr. Samueli.